Black Friday is like not even slowly creeping up. It is rapidly approaching, and I know that once the sales start, I'm gonna start feeling this FOMO and urgency and maybe some desire to impulse shop. So I'm gonna try and combat that and go through my carts and figure out what I actually want to pick up. So I actually keep a running list on my phone of makeup products that I feel are missing from my collection or that would fill a gap. So we'll start there and see what in my cart could apply to them. The first thing I'm looking for is I want to try a different concealer. I have my Kulfi concealer in the shade Glossy Guava, which I love, and it's very close to my skin tone, so I can use it for spot concealing and under my eyes. But I kind of just have this urge to try something different and new since I've been using it for so long, and it's the one I use pretty much every day. So I'm thinking of picking up maybe the NARS concealer. I have the creamy one. I used that a lot back in 2016, 2017. But I've never tried the one that's in the pot, and I've heard that's really good for spot concealing because it kind of dries down on its own. Okay, another one that I have in my cart is the LYS Triple Fix Concealer. I've heard really good things about this, that it's like very thin and creamy, and it's only $20, so I think if it's a total bust, that's not that much money wasted compared to some higher end concealers. So I might try that out. I kind of just have everything in my Sephora cart right now because I don't feel like going between all the different brand websites, but I don't think I'm going to buy anything from Sephora for Black Friday unless, I don't know if y'all remember this, but last year, I think in December, they had, or maybe it was around Black Friday, but they had like a 20% off coupon that just went out to everybody. So I don't know why I would shop the VIB sale and only get 15% off when I know that that coupon's coming. I digress. So those are my concealer options, doing the LYS, picking up the NARS Soft Matte, or just rebuying the Kulfi like a good girl. You know, I'm leaning towards getting the LYS or repurchasing the Kulfi because this NARS Soft Matte one, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like people said if you have dry skin, it can be a little drying, and that's why it's good because it kind of sets down itself. But if you have dry patches or something, I think it clings to them a little bit. I don't think I really like a pot concealer. I really like the Glossier one, the stretch one that was slippy, but after I kind of wore a groove in it, it just got harder and harder to dig into with my nails, and it got kind of gross. So I don't think I'm super into the pot, so let's get rid of the NARS. Okay, that's sorted for now. Moving on, I'm looking for a silver shimmery eyeshadow, and I want it to have sparkle in it and not be too transparent, like not too much of a topper shade. It's gotta have some good base pigment. So in the hunt for that one shade, I'm looking at the Pretty Grunge palette by Huda Beauty. And this was on my list from last year, but I held off because one, they're so big, and I'm just someone who, I get intimidated by like too big of palettes. But I like that this had a whole bunch of neutral shades. I kind of like these purpley, gray tones. I did not like the cream really. I figured I would just take that out, to be honest. But these silvers and metallics that they have going on look gorgeous. These swatches get me. They just look so high impact. It makes me want to do like dramatic looks on the daily. So I don't know, even a year later, I still feel just inspired looking at this palette, and I haven't found a single shadow, like a silver single shadow that's been calling to me. Oh, okay, one single shadow that was calling out to me, it's not a single shadow, it's a duo. It's the Patrick Ta Dimension Eye Duos that he just came out with. There's one that's, yes, it's golden sparkle and it says pearl sparkle, but that looks like silver. But the thing is, as we all know, these are $42, and I don't really need the gold one. I really just want the silver, but the silver looks stunning. So is that worth? I don't know. I mean, that's quick math. Is this like 2/3 the price of the Huda Beauty palette? That's kind of crazy. I don't know about that one now. Okay. I definitely don't think I'll be getting that. Maybe I'll look at Urban Decay. Do they have any singles? I have a couple of these Moondust singles. Space Cowboy, of course. And Lithium is the most recent one that I got. And I really like that it has the brown base with the silver sparkles. But it's like, I want a silver base with silver sparkles. So I think Huda Beauty is the closest I've got. I'm just so resistant to getting a big bulky palette because that means it has to go underneath all my other palettes, which means I am not going to reach for it. I know that about myself. Maybe if I find a better place to put it, I'll get it. Okay, next on my list is a liquid bronzer, but I do not want it to be in a squeeze tube. I'm very sick of the squeeze tubes. So luckily for me, there have been a bunch that have come out, and there's the Say Dew Bronze and the Makeup by Mario bronzing serum. And that one's a little interesting because you have the pump and it comes out into a wand. So you have two methods of application if you so choose, which is interesting. My only qualm with the Makeup by Mario is that So I was looking at the shade medium dark here. Yeah, I don't know, like, is this really showing up on the skin tones? I don't know. Let's zoom. I don't know about that. And I find with his darks, the dark shade reads a little red to me. That's why with the skin enhancer that's in the little, you know, the compact thing, I got the shade, I believe, medium dark as well, and it's basically in my skin tone. Like, I could use it as a skin tint if I wanted, but the dark version was just a little too red, and I didn't think that was going to work at all. I think that'd be a really pretty blush, though. Focusing on bronzer, I just don't know if the way he does shades makes sense for my skin tone specifically. And I also, from reviews, was seeing that it's basically going to give you the same finish as a skin enhancer. So I'm like, if I already have that, maybe I don't need to just repeat it in a different product. So then I was thinking about the Say one. This is another one where I was just like, is this even going to show up on my skin tone? So from these swatches, it looks okay, but I've seen people applying them and it looks like pretty sheer, like it shears out very quickly. So I'm not sure if I would need Swim is what I have in my cart right now, or Stinson, which is deeper. This is kind of the problem I run into a lot, where I'm just not sure how deep to go without it being like leaning muddy on me when I'm using it. And you can swatch it in stores, but I still feel you really need to put it on your face to get the full story. So I'm a little hesitant there because I do have the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, and that's fine, but I just kind of wanted something a little warmer and maybe more yellow based in a liquid form. So yeah, I'm just not sure where to go here because the Say, I'm afraid of it just blending into nothing or ending up muddy. And then also I've heard that their products kind of can go off a little quickly. I'm not looking for that, especially because, you know, it's money. Oh, but then recently e.l.f. came out with like a very similar product. I think I have it in here. Yes. Ulta is now carrying the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. What does that mean to put both of those words in one product? Maybe some shades lean more bronzery or contoury than the others. I was looking at the shade 6 Tan, and I think that could work for me. Looking at these swatches, the tan doesn't look too orange. It looks like a more neutral brown, so that kind of interests me. And it is only $7. So yeah, actually, never mind. No Say, no Makeup by Mario. I think I'm gonna be getting this one. I'm also gonna definitely get this duo brush. I love a good duo brush, but the shape on this looks awesome. One side is more ovally to kind of do the sculpting, and then one's a little fluffier to diffuse, and it looks gorgeous. It reminds me of that Makeup by Mario brush that I feel a lot of people use, this dual-ended foundation and face brush. Even though these are more like angled brushes for you to kind of pounce, a double-ended brush is a double-ended brush to me. So I could get rid of this $30 one off my wish list and just get this $9 one. Yay! Thank you, e.l.f. for coming through. I haven't bought anything in 9 months, so I haven't gotten any of their like recent dupe products because none have really spoken to me, but this I think was a great option because I think they've picked up that there is wand fatigue in the beauty community. Okay, the next product on my list is a brow gel that has a bit of a tint, because usually I use a clear brow gel and then I'll fill it in with like a brow pen. But I don't know, I've had this hair color for a while and I'm just starting to feel that when I do my brows, it's a little too dark and they feel a little bit heavy for some of the looks that I do. So I'd like a way to lighten them up and just make them feel a bit less heavy without having to add like foundation to my eyebrows or something. I have no idea where to start with this. I don't know who makes good brow products. I really try and just keep that part of my routine to the minimum because it's not particularly exciting. I've heard good things about this Kosa brow gel, but I do know people say it goes off pretty quickly, so I don't know if I want to spend 24 bucks on that. This Milk Makeup one is interesting, but they're just irritating me. Ever since they repackaged their blush as their like minis as full sizes, I just find them irritating and I don't really want to shop from them. I have never tried Benefit Cosmetics. I've never tried any of their brow products. This could be the time. Maybe just get like a mini of the brow gel. Because what else do we have here? Definitely not buying an Hourglass brow gel. Ooh, I do like this Makeup by Mario one. It is like putting super glue in your brows. It is very strong. But I don't think, he doesn't do any colors. I feel like he should add colors. Yeah, I think that's everything. All right, let's look at the Benefit. Oh, this is the opposite problem. There are so many colors. Okay, I'll sort that later. I'm just gonna add it to my basket. Okay, that feels pretty good. The brow gel that I use right now, they do have shades for it, but sometimes the shade that I've been eyeing is just out of stock when I go to buy it. So I'd like to just get a brow gel from a place that is reliably in stock because I do go through them pretty quickly. If I'm not doing anything else to my face, I'm putting on brow gel and blush. Speaking of blush, this isn't really a gap in my collection that needs filling. I just want to try a new stick or liquid blush. I don't have any in my cart right now, so let's just troll Sephora and see what's good. The ones that were sticking out to me just from like being on social media were the Say one. There's this shade, it's not chili, spicy, that I see people using, and it looks beautiful. It looks like kind of a brick rust color. And then the Road ones, those like little chunksters. I want one so bad. That is one area where the marketing definitely got me. Just like, I don't even know why. They're not even like cute looking. There's just something about the shape that is just like cute. And then the shades. I think the shades are really good. The one that everyone's been using is like a bronzer. I want it. I've never tried anything from Rhode though, even though those peptide lip treatments, it's hard to resist those. They're literally everywhere. I feel like they're the it lip product at the moment. If they were sold in Sephora, I would definitely have one, but the fact that I have to go on her website specifically, too lazy. But I want to try some of her skincare products. I think like the moisturizer and the milk thing. So that's on my Christmas list. So if someone is buying those for me, I might ask them to toss in a blush as well. Why is this website so hard to navigate? Liquid stick. Okay, let's see what we got. Also, do the Say blushes go bad too? Please let me know if you have personal experience with that. The Merit ones I've heard are super sheer, and even though it looks really fun to just rub that on your face, I think for my skin tone, that would be really irritating to just have it disappear immediately. I don't think I want anything too matte. Also, enough with these little puffs. I don't know why, none of this is appealing to me. Okay, was that everything? Oh geez, okay. I think I'll just wait for Christmas and maybe someone will get me one of the Rhode blushes and then that will be that sorted. I think at this point, blush is my favorite category, so it's kind of sad looking at all these new products and nothing's like lighting my eyes up, but it's because my collection is currently full of blushes that did that exact thing. All the blushes that I have right now, I swoon over. It takes a lot to get me to turn my head. Like apparently a chubby little stick. Last thing that I have on my like white whale list is a mauve or beige powder blush. I don't want it to be too matte. I'm looking for a satin matte, but without shimmer, because I have a lot of shimmery blushes from all my Hourglass palettes. I just want something that will make my skin look like skin and maybe add a little bit of life back after I powder my face. So I have been really interested in trying out the Haus Labs formula. I said this, I think, last year in my anti-haul of my Sephora shopping list. I even went to the store and swatched them and I was like, none of these shades are doing it for me. But then they added 2 more shades. So I have been looking at Fire Moon, which is described as a beige peach, and it just looks so pretty for every day. I really want a kind of like brainless blush that if I don't know what I want to do, but I just want to like get something on my face, I can reach for it all the time. I don't know, I just think this could be the one because I really wanted to try this product for a while now, and the fact that this shade came out and I think it would fit perfectly in my collection, I think it's time. Alright, let's see what other random stuff I have in my cart. Okay, these Say Mini Glowy Super Gels. I already have 2 minis. I have them in Sun Glow, which is the bronze, and then I think it's Star Glow is like this icy shade. And only in this set do they have Warm Glow, which is this like soft gold shade. And I think it would be so stunning on me, but I already have a mini of Sun Glow and I don't really have someone to gift it to. And I've only made like maybe a third of a dent in Sun Glow and maybe half in Star Glow. So I really can't justify adding a third mini of this product if I haven't finished one of the other 2, but I want it. I think what I'll do though is that I'm sure next year they're gonna have this same set. So hopefully I can make progress on the other minis that I have, and then as a reward, I can get myself this set next year. Or they could just make it available like normal, but that's too much to ask. I'm still not sure what to do about this Pretty Grunge palette. You know, when something's been on your mind for over a year, I kind of feel like maybe just go for it. But, you know, I'm just trying to be realistic about my makeup wearing habits and like how often would I actually use this. But I think having one product that's kind of aspirational to kind of get you out of your comfort zone isn't the worst thing. It's just the fact that it's $70. So there might be a way to start smaller with that goal. So I think when I go to Ulta, I'll just poke around and see, okay, do y'all have any silver shadows? But if not, I'm not against getting it and just making a concerted effort to actually use it and do looks. Then I have this Sephora Collection eye pencil, and this is in a matte olive green. And I have this NYX eye pencil that's in a shimmery olive, and I think that kickstarted this desire to do more like olive looks. So I have this here, it's 14 bucks. I have no idea what are the good eyeliners. I really, in my mind, can't spend more than, I think, like $22 on one. So 14 bucks is perfect. Oh, I've just heard good things about this eye serum from The Ordinary. I need to do something about my under eyes now that I'm in my 30s, and they were dry before, and they're only getting drier. So I think this would be a good place to start. Okay, I feel like this cart looks okay. $175. How's that adding up? Okay, I guess that makes sense. Ooh, gosh, stuff is expensive. Let's head over to Ulta and see what I've got going on there. I don't even remember putting this in my cart. This Flower Beauty under eye corrector. I think I must have seen someone on YouTube say this is underrated, and I was like, sure. It's regularly $13, but it's on sale for $7.80. I'm always looking for something to help with my darkness under my eyes, or even like around my mouth. I wonder if you could use that on the rest of your face. I have some orange color correctors, but I like to not wear foundation. So sometimes they need to be covered up with another product, or else it just looks like kind of clowny to just have orange on your face. So I like color correctors that can almost blend into your skin, have a bit more brown in them, I guess. But I'm not sure if that's this product. This looks pretty orange to me. But I'm also very down to make mistakes that cost less than $10. So that's why Ulta really gets me. I will spend $100 on a whole bunch of nonsense products that don't work out for me just because they're cheap. Ooh, I forgot about this. This is the About Face liquid blush that just came out. Oh my gosh. First of all, the packaging on these are gorgeous. Amazing job. And then the shades also look super lovely. I don't see a ton of people talking about these, but occasionally I'll see someone using it in like a reel. I think that's how I ended up in my cart. This shade Grand Prix is a red brown, and it is so interesting to me because I feel like it's the same kind of category as the Say Spicy and that Rhode Teddy one, where it just looks really almost kind of bronzy but blushy at the same time. And that's just really speaking to me right now. I don't think any of the other shades are getting to me. This purple is definitely interesting. Jumpstart. You know, this kind of reminds me of Haze from Glossier, which I really love that shade. That's just kind of like a vibrant, almost fuchsia. But I don't need that right now. That's not what I'm looking for. I try and shop seasonally too. Like, I don't really want to buy spring blush shades right now because they're just going to sit unused for a couple months, even if I'm getting them at a discount right now. But this shade, I would be using immediately. So that's definitely staying in my cart. Okay, these L'Oreal highlighter sticks, this is nothing on my list. I just saw them and was like, I want this. They have, I think, two versions. So one gives you kind of like a glass skin look, and then the other one is more of a typical cream highlighter. But this glassy one, look at that glow. I've been watching a lot of like K-pop makeup tutorials, and I feel like this would be perfect for a lot of the looks. Especially, I feel like they use something like this here to just reflect light from the center of their face. Some of the highlighters I've been using have been too shimmery. Like, you can see the little particles. And this just looks like it'd be a real glassy shine. And it's only $13. I think I'd like to try it. It did just come out though, so there aren't really any reviews. So that'd be kind of a leap of faith. But maybe by Black Friday there will be some. And nothing else makeup wise here. I just have the Banela Co. Clean It Zero Cleansing Balm. I've been using this since I was in college, I feel. It's just like, it works really well, so I see no need to try and find anything else. You know, I'm kind of in a little shopping mood, so let's just see what's new makeup wise at Ulta. Oh, okay. I've never purchased any Kylie Cosmetics, but tell me, why is this little quad that they have of glitter look so good? It's $24 for this little eyeshadow quad, and I think, sure, might all these shades look pretty similar on the lid? More or less. I don't know. I think it's different enough. I'm not like morally opposed to giving Kylie Jenner my money, so I'm a little curious about this because the Urban Decay Moondust quad, like, I did not find that appealing at all. It's just, I feel like they've lost sight of what makes Moondust so special, and they're like trying to do too many normie things. Like, I don't want an everyday eyeshadow in there. I want something that is like mind-blowingly glittery. I want to see pink and yellow and purple glitters in one shade, but they're giving me like a brown with silver glitter. Okay, anyway, I might have to get this. Oi. I don't know why I feel NYX just came out with something, but maybe because they're always coming out with something. Ooh, okay, Half Magic. I don't own anything from Half Magic, even though they seem like a makeup brand that is like perfect for me. So this could be a good time if they end up having a sale on their own website, or I guess even on Ulta. But maybe it's just because they're so glittery and fun, they always strike me as more of like a nice to have. But if I'm thinking about spending money and being conscious, I'm like, none of these are things I'm reaching for every day. So it's a little harder for me to motivate myself to buy them, especially because, you know, they're not outrageously expensive, but they're also not like the cheapest thing. Ooh, but they have eyeshadow singles. Okay, these singles are pretty cheap. I wonder if it's because they have this biodegradable packaging, which I love. Let's see, do you have a silver? Excuse me, do you have a silver? No. I'm here jabbering and I don't even know what I would possibly want from there because I do have a lot of glittery eyeshadows. The blush is interesting. I had swatched this Magic Brownie in store and it was really pretty, but I don't know. I think it'd be trying it just to try it. Like, they're a brand that I really want to test out some of their products because I feel like we have similar energies, but I'm just kind of full up in some of the categories that they have products in. So maybe one day when I've kind of gotten through some of my stash of blushes and shimmers, we can meet again. Okay, but let me just search silver eyeshadow. So part of me is like, I could get that Stila Glitter and Glow, but I've had them. Actually, I've never had a full size. I've had the minis, and the minis dried out on me so quickly. But maybe a full size would be okay just because there's more product to keep it from drying out. But I feel like I've been burned before, so I don't want to try it again. They have one in the Rem Liquid Shadow, black and silver. That's not quite it, but no, but interesting. You know, I'm sure ColourPop has one, but fortunately I've stopped buying from them because they keep doing Harry Potter collabs, and I'm like, you're giving money to this horrible woman. So no more buying ColourPop for me. Ooh, okay. I have some things from About Face. I have a couple of their matte fluid eye paints, but I don't have any of these glitter ones. Oh, I don't know about this color. Soft silver. That's not it either. Okay, so there's this MAC Dazzle shadow in like a metallic silver, and I feel like this could be interesting, but it's also $26, and in my lizard brain doing math is like, well, we could just get the Huda Beauty palette, right, for $69. It's almost there. I don't know, the whole single shadow versus palette debate that's happening in my mind, I think I'm gonna need to take some more time to figure out. If you have a recommendation for like a drugstore silver shadow that I'm just missing, definitely let me know, because I would love to pay a smaller price tag for a single shadow than $26. But yeah, I'm feeling like my Sephora cart, my Ulta cart, I think we're in a pretty good place. I'm excited for Black Friday and to not feel overwhelmed by the FOMO and the urgency of it all. So I think this was a really good exercise, and thank you for being here and listening to me chat through everything. This was also really fun. So thanks again for watching and hanging out, and I will see you in my next video.